show, whatever you want to call it. Looks like nobody's here yet, which makes sense because I don't know how to like schedule streams ahead of time or anything. So yeah, welcome. And this device is the Acer One S1003. As you can see, it is a laptop tablet thing that comes apart. Um, you may notice this is not original. This is a basically there were real clips here, and you would like set it like this, and it would make that sound, but it would stick in a lot nicer and all that stuff. But it does not do that anymore. One clip broke, and then like the next day the other clip broke. So I spent several days, several iterations trying to find some way of getting it to sort of go back together again, and machining out bits of metal and jamming them in the place was just about the only thing that had any chance of working, and it kind of works how it is right now. I had to mess with the tolerances a lot and stuff. But yeah, so today we're going to be installing Linux on this thing, this godforsaken tablet. Now, this is my first time streaming from my phone, so I have jumped the gun a little bit, and I didn't have everything quite ready when I hit go live button. So, pardon me while I spend a couple seconds actually writing the ISO to my thumb drive here, which is not a thumb drive. It's an SD card, as you'll see in a bit here. And I'm just doing this on another computer. Shouldn't be that big a deal. So I want to cat stuff, ISOs, Fedora, workstation, live 37. 37 is the newest version of Fedora. We want to cat that into dev. Scroll up again to make sure it's SDC. It's definitely SDC. I really hope, and that's the whole disk, right? Yes, I remember how to do this, because it's got the partitions already in the ISO. So that's just going to... Oh. And sudo, I forgot about sudo. Sudo t into dev SDC, and the main output goes to dev null, and then sync. Yeah. Enter my super secret password that you can't hear my keys moving on because I'm coping. Enter it a couple times because, oh no, sudo's broken. How did my sudo break? Oh no, it's going. It's going. Okay, it's just taking time. I'm also I'm recompiling Emacs. One of my prior streams was an Emacs thing. I was doing a couple things, and the last thing that I ended up doing was recompiling Emacs, and it didn't work because basically I didn't have all the libraries installed. And so I gave up and just installed the Arch version. And the Arch version of Emacs was fine. So now it says it's done. And I'm just going to pull out this drive. I'm going to sync the file systems again. It says it's fine. Okay, I choose to believe thee. Okay, so check out this setup. I have a micro SD card. Oh no, focus. Focus thou. Focus. Forget about focus. I've got a micro SD. Oh, there. That's how you focus. So put it, and then I click on the screen, and then it zooms in. So I've got this micro SD card. Ooh, focus. Yes. And then, of course, you can't forget the micro SD adapter and the SD to USB adapter. So I'm just gonna stick this, and there it goes the other way. If you're not familiar with installing Linux, how are you here? Nobody's here. What am I saying? This is going to get chopped down into a video eventually. So now we're just going to insert the USB adapter into the one and only USB drive on the S1003. And it is now time to do the thing. Now, you will notice that the USB adapter is attached to the keyboard side and not the screen side where all the computation takes place. That's actually fine. There's these contacts on the bottom, so it's not actually a big deal. It does all of the keyboard communication and USB stuff through there, as well as the trackpad, of course. So as long as you don't fiddle with it when you're using it. So in other words, as long as you don't use it as a laptop, you'll be fine. So now it is time to install, to actually get into installing this. Now, to start, I'm going to put my finger on the F12 key, just like this, because if I recall correctly, it's been a while since I did this. F12 is the key that you actually want to press to get started. And then we're gonna, this first button on the top left here is the power button, so we're just gonna hold this, and as soon as the light comes on the screen, we're just gonna spam F12 like that. And watch my camera spaz out. My phone camera spaz out. This this pixel is supposedly okay. Where are we? No. Okay, that didn't work. You'll notice it is starting up Fedora here. The reason it's doing that is that there's a previous installation of Fedora here. Um, I was intending to give this computer away to charity and dump it on somebody else unsuspecting, but they they crap. Oh well, doesn't matter. They can't. They're not gonna watch this. So we're just going to try that again. Restart. And this time I am going to try pressing escape, which is where you would expect it to be. All right, we are in escaped mode. Now, this is the sort of fun and sort of annoying part. Watch the stream go sideways. Okay, somebody help. Okay, hang on. No, I know how to do this. My phone stand has a sideways ability. It has the power to go mostly sideways. So this is how we're doing this now. I'm just navigating with the arrow keys unless otherwise stated. Okay, so we want to go boot from file. Press enter. There's two volumes here. We'll go. Let me see. They both say same PCI root. One of them's USB and the other is not. So go with the one that says USB around there. I don't know how all that's showing up. Yeah, USB. Click on this, EFI, scroll down to boot, and the file you want to boot from is bootia32.efi. Now, only a few Linux distros have this. Fedora does. All right, here we go. So we can either start Fedora or we can test the media and then start Fedora. I usually don't bother testing the media, but I will this time, just to make sure. You never know. So, in the meantime, let's just reorientate ourselves so you can see what's going on here. Now, this is going to be a mostly standard Linux installation if you're familiar with the Fedora installer, which is called Anaconda. There are a couple things we're gonna do first. Okay, you can see it's checking 5%. Why does it have 3? You only need 2 except for the final percentage. Oh well, so it's gonna check there for a bit. Once we get into this, I am gonna blow it up because I know that the stuff is all a little bit off. So yeah, pretty much the way this is going to work is we're going to do a mostly normal Fedora installation, but with optimizations because this device only has 2 GB of RAM and 32 gigs, nominally 32 gigs of storage. It's actually more like 28, I think, and it's a it's one of those Intel processors where there's twice as many threads as there are cores because that's just how Intel does it. But it's still not very many. I think it's got four threads, but there's only 2 physical cores or something. Um, and the trackpad is very so-so. The keyboard is fine, but it's small. The touch screen is fine, but doesn't have good drivers. I mean, the actual just like touch and even slidey drivers are kind of fine, but the uh, the rotation, the gyros are a problem with a lot of Linux distros. But thankfully, ever since GNOME 40, all of that stuff, multi-touch gestures and uh, touch screen and rotations, it all just works now, which is very nice, and I wish it had been a thing when I first started using this device. Because otherwise there's like basically nothing else good about GNOME. I shouldn't say that. This is not a review of GNOME, really. But it is an interesting place. Oh, it says it's okay. We passed. Good job. Should I do it? Do I press enter? Do I press escape? What do? Control C maybe? Okay. Um, Next space. I'm just gonna. Oh, there it goes. I don't know what I did to make it work or anything. Maybe it was just waiting for a predetermined amount of time. Watch systemd go. Now, systemd, some people say it's slow, and sometimes it is slow, but with this device especially, it's really hardly ever the bottleneck. Like, I've ran Arctics on this thing, I've ran Void, never got Gentoo, but that's because I've never got Gentoo to work in the first place, but uh, other inits don't seem to do that much better than systemd. It's like anything, you can just disable things within systemd, and that's what really makes the time difference. By the way, my S sounds are I'm kind of bad at them, so sorry about that. All right, it's frozen up, which means that it's about to log us into the desktop. So here we go. Come on. Come on. Come on. No. That's probably not grammatically correct, but I don't know. I mean, I know enough to know that I do not know. Okay, let's go. Why? Why? Why is this not working? My other computer is still compiling Emacs somehow. I'm not sure how. It would be an interesting experiment to see how usable, like just booting straight into Emacs, like with EXWM or something, would be on this machine. I suspect, though, that because it's touchscreen, wouldn't be that great. I mean, you do have this. All right, here we go. And we're booted into Fedora. We have this with this window here with the options try or install, and the correct answer would usually be install, but I'm going to actually click try first. We're going to install later. So for now, let's first open a terminal. I believe Control-Alt-T works. It doesn't. There's no terminal. Okay. So we're just going to open a terminal. See, this is the thing. This device is slow, and the touchpad isn't working today for some reason. You'll notice also these gigantic black bars on the side, all sides of the display. It's less notable on the bottom, but it is there too. Let's actually first go to, can I make the terminal bigger? Yes, there we go. Okay. And it's working now. So let's make the terminal big here. And we're going to just focus in on that. And now we're going to install a couple of things. We're going to sudo dnf install f2fs tools. Wait, is there a completion for this? I don't. Okay, I pressed tab a couple times and now it won't let me type, so I assume it's trying to build completions, but it'll take a little bit. The CPU is somewhere on the upper back here. Okay. Yeah, it's F2FS tools, and I don't know that we'll need anything else. Yeah, let's just do that. Oh, problem, Wi-Fi. We need to connect to Wi-Fi with my super secret Wi-Fi password, which I'm not going to show on stream. Not that it matters all that much, but, you know, just in case. All right, so our Wi-Fi is connecting, and give it a couple seconds, and boom, we're connected. Ooh, all right, there we go. Still focused in mostly, okay, cool. Trying to like half and half look at the screen directly and watch it through the stream. So just F2FS tools. Shouldn't take very long. The main problem with this is mirror switching. You saw it got pretty far through, and then I guess that particular mirror went offline or it lost the connection, so it started over with a different source. That's just something that Fedora does and stuff. You Gentoo, by the way. Hi, welcome to the stream. We're just installing this. If you're not familiar with this godforsaken device, it's the Acer S1003 or S1003. It is a frankly, it's kind of garbage. I demoed at the very beginning of the stream, but I can't really do it now because I've got a USB plugged in here. And if I take it's a tablet, it's a 2-in-1 tablet that comes apart, the keyboard detaches, but if you detach the keyboard, you lose the USB connector, and so the installer will fail. But yeah, it's I think, single or dual core device with, it's dual core, but Intel does their like thread doubling up thing, so it shows as 4 threads in HTOP, but it's actually 2. And wait. Okay, wait, okay, I have a question. Is the stream sideways for you? Celeron, yeah, that sounds right. It's either a Celeron or a. You know what? We can actually check. Um, it is sideways. Okay. This is my. Wait, CPU. Wait, LS CPU. There we go. It says it is a genuine Intel Atom. It's an Atom. I knew it wasn't a Celeron. I would know if I had a Celeron because that name sounds like decently cool. And Atom just does not. There we go. Wait, okay. Um, yeah, this is my first live stream on YouTube, so it makes sense that it wouldn't do it. Old Gateway, nice. I've heard they were famous at some point before my time. But yeah, this is my first live stream on YouTube, which is why it's sideways. I can't quite I can't do it. Like I could do this, and then it would stop being sideways. But for now, I like this better. I'm probably gonna edit this into a video. I mean, I probably not, but I gotta say that I am. So for now, we'll just deal with it, and eventually YouTube will let me actually rotate the stream. For now, it's locked. It's locked. They don't want me to, because I'm streaming on mobile for the first time. Because how else are you supposed to screen record a computer that you don't have set up like that? I don't know. There's definitely a way though. Just don't know what it is. Okay. While it's doing that, just give me sorry, I'm recompiling Emacs on my other machine. Or I just finished recompiling it. Technically now it's installing. Bedrock Linux is a cool distro, but sometimes things from different strata don't quite play together correctly. All right, time to actually install F2FS tools. F2FS is a file system which is faster on certain types of hardware that aren't very common, and so a lot of people in Linux circles will like dismiss it. Also, I think there was a stability concern a few years back. But the thing is, this device, the main storage, the long-term memory, it's a MMC module. It's the same exact stuff that's in a flash drive. There's no SSD controller. There's no optimization. It's just raw flash memory, which means that the life expectancy is way lower. It's that of an SD card. You can't pull it out or anything, but it is just running off an SD card internally, basically. So yeah, since there's no controller, the reads and writes are often a lot slower, especially with file systems like ext4 that create references. Basically, they have to write to two places every time they write to one. I believe it's been a while since I had to know about that in depth, but I believe that's the gist. So with this class of devices in particular, F2FS is the fastest, and then BTRFS is pretty decent. I haven't actually tried XFS or ZFS or ZFS if you say it that way, but I've heard they could probably be all right. I just haven't bothered. Those are for corporations with large amounts of data to use, and this is a personal computer with a very small amount of data available, so I don't really think it's that applicable. But yeah. Hi, welcome to the stream. I noticed somebody else joined. Welcome. We're just installing Fedora Linux on this Acer S1003. It's a pretty bad computer, but if you've got one, you may as well do something useful with it. And so that's what we're doing. Basically what I've done so far is just started the installer and clicked onto just install Gen 2. No. Oh, you didn't say just, you said your name is Justin. Okay. What? Something crashed. I'm not sure what that was. Now it froze up on me. All right. So we're just going to actually install it now. And the thing about this installer, the reason why putting F2FS works is they have drivers. Hi, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. I shouldn't move the cursor. That'll use up too much RAM and it'll take the installer another 10 minutes to open. This thing only has 2 gigabytes of RAM, which is enough to run GNOME, just barely, but nothing else. But we're just gonna start with it, and it's gonna work out okay. But GNOME is nice because the touchscreen actually works pretty well with modern GNOME. Like check that out, or check that out. You can't really see the reflection. There you go. You can see the reflection of my fingers. It does that. So, but couldn't you get a weaker computer? Probably. What do you mean? There are weaker computers, but this is the weakest one that I have. Yes, it is. I have one that's much older. That's 256 megs. That's a very small amount. Do you have one like that? That's quite small. I have another computer that's technically less. That's technically worse in most ways, but it's still better than this one somehow. All right, and we're into the installer. I'm just going to use English because if you use any other language, it doesn't actually. Oh, okay. We're going to force quit the old. Oh, that force quit did both of them. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on. All right, build a computer around Intel. All right, I'm not going to let this dissuade me. This is just something that happens. It's an old. It's not that old. It came out in like 2017. I guess that is old now. Wow, I feel old. 2017 was 6 years ago. 6 years ago. Canst thou believe that? Okay. Plan 2. Or plan B. We're gonna just open a terminal and we're going to open the installer through the terminal, and that way when it fails, we'll see why. Give it a couple seconds to start. It's slow. I've seemed to have attracted a crowd that likes installing Linux on slow things, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. It's probably fine. Okay, yeah. But enough about me, okay. var run anaconda.pid. Alright, I will delete, where is it? Okay. Well, I'm not sure what happened, but there is one unlocked now, so we'll just use that one. Continue. Give it a couple seconds. Now, for a long time, this was the only device I used Fedora on, and I thought that Fedora was just slow, but it turns out this device is the thing that's slow. Fedora is actually kind of fine. It's not excellent, but it's fine. Okay, time for the partitioning stage. So we're going to select a custom storage configuration. We're going to reselect this disk, and do a custom installation. For some reason, you need to press done. This is a problem with the way this installer works. We can create the automatic mount points. We're going to remove this. There's an old Fedora 34 installation on here from a couple of years ago that I did and gave away, and then they gave me the computer back later, so we're just going to delete all of the mount points from that old installation. If it'll let us, if clicking on them works, which it doesn't, delete all of the systems which are only used. Yes, delete it. I clicked on the deleted button. There it goes. All right. And now I'll go standard partition. Oh no, what's unknown? Unknown is just the ASP, which we're going to also delete. I want to break all the other operating systems. We're just single booting this this device here, so we'll do the standard partitions. Click here to create them automatic. Okay, did that do that, or does it not? We'll wait. Boom. Okay. Now on slash, they want us to use ext4, but that is incorrect. ext4 is the slowest file system you could possibly use on this particular device because of the way it handles metadata. It's slow. F2FS is the one we want. F2FS has some neat features. We're actually going to make this a bit smaller, though. We're going to put it at 23 point less. I don't know, 23.3 gigs, and update this. Click on the thing. And what that'll do is, hang on, maybe the reason I'm not getting more views is because we're sideways. I knew we were sideways, I just didn't want to do anything about it, because it's easier for me when we're sideways. And now we want to create a new partition for swap. Ugh. My S's aren't working today, I apologize. We want no mount point, but swap, and leave the default capacity, just the rest of the disk, which should be about 4 gigs, or 3 or 4, however much we left before. Yeah, like 4.25 gigs. Nice. With the swap file system, boot and bootEFI are fine. Probably, what's boot? Boot is ext4. We'll put it as ext2 for compatibility with Grub, I guess. And done. I did click on the done button up there in the corner, but it's going to take a couple minutes to do that correctly. That all looks right. I'm not reading it through, but I believe it. And finally, I'm going to select a different time zone so that I can dox myself because that's the time zone that I'm in, not other time zones. It's not that big. Okay, so now it's going to install, and while it's doing that, I can't do anything else on the computer or it'll overload the RAM. So we're just gonna stay away from that. Instead, I'm gonna talk about kind of the thing with this device. What is its deal? Well, it comes new in the store. It came with 64-bit Windows 7. It does have a 64-bit processor, but for some reason only 32-bit UEFI, which is why we're installing Fedora. I don't normally like Fedora as like a default installation, but again, it has the bootia32.efi file, which most other distros do not. MX Linux is one other that does have it, and Ventoy, the multi-boot drive formatter tool thing, will actually, the way that it works is it uses grub to generate the boot menus, and it uses its own version of grub that does have bootia32.efi with the grub config of whatever distro it's booting, and so those have it. 64-bit, yeah, it's not good. Most people who use this device will try to install a 32-bit operating system on here, and actually a lot of devices that have this configuration with 32-bit EFI, but 64-bit CPU will actually just install a 32-bit OS and never know the difference. The problem, though, is that 32-bit OSs are being phased out. Several distros, I believe, have stopped supporting them in the past couple of years, and so we basically don't want any more of that. It's not great for the future unless you want to compile everything yourself and run Gen 2, which is a valid option, but it will take a while to compile on this pathetic little Intel Atom with 2 gigs of RAM. If you're just joining us now, I did put 4 gigs of swap space, though, out of the 28 that are available on this device. So that'll help a little bit, maybe. Just installing software. By the way, does my voice sound okay? Is it too loud or too quiet or too buzzy or anything? Because this my S is all nasty ears and only I can hear that. Because this phone speaker or microphone is apparently it's pretty good. It's what I've been using for. Okay, good. It's fine. Voice sounds smooth, no problems. Okay, good. I get self-conscious about it. I don't like the way it sounds, and when I'm talking to people, I'm always thinking about the way it sounds and trying to make it sound better for me, but maybe that's not something that matters to other people. Man, when you spend so much time on the internet, just Windows 10 is because it did. What do you mean, one in chat there? The reason they use Windows 10 is because they ditched 64-bit. It's 30. Yeah, this device came out before everybody started ditching 32-bit. There is a 32-bit version of Windows 10, and when people reinstall Windows on these things, that's what they put on there because that's the only Windows that will boot even, and it won't install. It won't find the drive that's internal because it sees it as an SD card because that's what it's made out of. So basically, the only way to install Windows is to factory install Windows or to install 32-bit Windows. There are hacks you can do. I have managed to get Windows back onto this thing once, I think. And it was nasty and extremely slow. so I gave up on it very quickly. But yeah, it is totally a thing that exists at least. And in current year, we have oh no, touchscreen support. Swap is pretty weak. That's true, but with F2FS, it's a little bit less weak. That's it's a game of what you want to do. We can also change the swappiness value. There's also ZRAM. ZRAM is basically compressed swap that's stored in the RAM. Uh, it's been described as compressed RAM, but that's a little bit reductive because that's not quite what swap does. But it is. Hello, welcome, Sexy Rice Linux. I think I can say that. We're installing Fedora on this godforsaken device, the Acer S1003. It's a detachable laptop tablet hybrid two-in-one thingy with 28 gigs of storage, 2 gigabytes of RAM, and Intel. It does use CPU more, but I've I've done a little bit of testing is the word. I've tried different configurations, and it feels to me like having both ZRAM and physical swap is the way to go. And it really does kind of depend on what you're doing, but if you're just doing normal stuff, it's fine. I find the RAM being a problem more than the CPU. Honestly, the CPU is the least bad thing about this computer. I mean, the keyboard is also fairly serviceable, but um, I had another computer where everything about it was amazing except the CPU. It was one of those old laptops from before they made them non-repairable, so you could take it all the way apart and everything, and it was amazing. But I couldn't find any more powerful CPUs for it. It was stuck on like this ancient AMD Athlon 2, I believe. It was from like it was from it was a 2012 computer, but all the parts said 2009 on them, so I'm not sure what happened there. Um, I I don't know if I have it over here with me. It was a Toshiba Satellite L655D. Great chonky device. It was just when they had the idea of like rounding the corners on things, but they hadn't quite figured out how to make it translate to the whole ethos of everything yet. So you could still take it apart and everything. There must have been hundreds of screws on that thing. It. What do you? What does that mean? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. What's this button do? It's oh, it's for running GNOME. Yeah, but just barely. Like watch this. You can't really see. Basically, if I do any GNOME things, it freezes up and it takes a while and the animations don't work. So it can run GNOME and one app. Is pretty much it. Um, at least in the default configuration provided by the installer, which it says it's 7% through, but I don't know if I believe that. 58%. The progress bar doesn't move when it's installing software because, as far as I can tell, the progress bar is just from an itemized list, and installing software is the first or second thing in that list, so the entire operation of installing the software takes up one part of the list. Curious if you run a window manager, will it work better? I knew these aren't on Linux aren't taxing, but still. So I have tried this in the past. Window managers or standalone window managers with not much eye candy, do work better on this as a general rule, like performance-wise. It's no contest. GNOME is the absolute heaviest thing there is. However, the thing about GNOME is it lets you turn basically. So this stream is sideways. I know that. YouTube will not let me unrotate it because this is my first mobile live stream, but you can actually. I don't want to pick it up right now because if the keyboard comes unattached and it's not attached very hard, the installation will fail. I'll have to start over, and that's a pain, and I don't want that. But basically, the oh yeah, rotation. There is a gyro in there, and there's an event. There's a daemon that picks up the event, and will rotate the screen. And it'll also rotate the touch input, and that's built into GNOME and no other desktop, as far as I can tell. And so what you end up having to do is like write your own script that will change the input matrix. Like if I push over here, if I boop that, give it a second, and it opens the calendar and notifications. Okay? Let's say that I turned the whole thing over like that. If I pressed on this same area, if I pressed over on this part of the screen where the top would be now, it would click, the click would register down here because the matrix will not have updated, or on GNOME, the matrix will actually update with the display of the screen, but on most other distros, it does not, or most other desktops, certainly not. What do you call it? Wayland. Okay, so in order to illustrate this better, I'm just going to go. I'm going to show you a script that I wrote a few years maybe ago. A script that I wrote some time ago that basically just fixes that problem. Let me see, there it is. Okay, I don't feel too bad about this. Not too bad at all. Okay, oh. Don't look at my desk, it's all cluttered and nasty. But anyway, here is the script. It's called mrander. Let me put the link in my oh shoot, I'd have to type it out because it's on a different device. Anyway, you can find it if you want to. Basically, all of the code, no, all of the, either Wayland compositors or Xorg itself will have a rotation matrix for touch input and mouse input that are separate, and it will also have a rotation state for the display through the screen. And Hyperland and Sway deal with this in basically the same way, but Xorg uses the matrices, and there is probably a way to not hard code them, but for the life of me, I don't want to do all of the math in Bash, so I just decided not to. So I just hard code it. So you run this script is called mrander. You run it with mrander and then the direction that you want to turn. So like mrander 180 to invert. And let me just open the terminal here and show you. If I do mrander 180. Oh, it doesn't work because I don't have it set up to work for Hyperland yet. But if it did work, it would turn the, also this horrible nested case statement here. Don't ever do this when you're programming, even Bash. it detects what display server you have and then gets the X or whatever else input ID of the touchpad and touchscreen if it exists, and it sets them all according to those matrices that are way up here. Uh, and that is what it does. All right, over here we are 99% of the way through installing software, so pardon me as I bend the camera stand into unusable formations to get it to work back again. Installing software 100%. Welcome to the stream if you're just joining us. We're 100% of the way through installing software, which means like 5% of the way through the actual installation. This is Fedora Linux on an Acer S1003, the worst computer I own. We started this with a full battery, and it is now at 89%, which is fine. I'm happy with that. Now it's installing the bootloader. Sorry about the zoom. Actually, does this zoom? Oh, it does zoom. Segoy. Oh, I hope. I do not want to stop streaming. I just want to get rid of the comments. How can I get rid of the comments? I cannot get rid of the comments, and I can't really zoom into any part other than the center of. Oh, okay, hide chat. And then we zoom into this part, and I can't scroll the zoom, but I can just move the phone. Hooray for workarounds. Okay. I'm going to show the, okay. Right. So that, I hope that tangent about rotation matrices was somewhat useful. Basically, yes, window managers are less heavy than desktop environments, especially GNOME, but you also lose a lot of functionality there, which is a bit unfortunate. It does seem, though, that with the way that Hyperland especially is going, if you haven't tried Hyperland, definitely check it out. It's a very cool project. But no, it does seem that we will probably get to the point where there are other graphical environments besides GNOME that can handle the screen rotation with the touch screen syncing with it out of the box. But we are not living in that time, as far as I can tell, and so GNOME is pretty much the only option. If you want the touch screen to not work in like a malfunctiony way, yeah, DWM, not just respecting. Wait, what? Show me the. What happened to the chat? Okay, there it is. Goals. What are they? Even some WMs like DWM are not working with. They're not just respecting the whole range of events that X offers. Yeah, it's a mess, and it's amazing that it works as well as it does, but I mean, kind of also inevitable. It's taking a really long time to install the bootloader. I wonder if something is wrong. That's probably just being slow. I would open a task manager, but I fear that would overload the system. So I'm not going to. $50, $49, $50, $51, $52, $53, $54, $55, $56, $57, and I have officially been streaming for 55 minutes. Thank you to everyone who has stayed with us this long. and I am sorry for boring you with my uninterestingness. It's still installing the bootloader. I really hope it hasn't crashed internally or something. I actually want to see though, so let's click on. Oh, this isn't doing that anymore, so it won't show. Oh, log files are stored in temp. Let me see if there's anything in temp. Yes, there are too many things to look at. Tail f temp anaconda.log. Okay, bootloader installation is what it's doing, which is the same thing that it says up there. So I guess that doesn't really mean anything now, does it? Let's just, oh, yeah, that works too. Put it in the background there. All right, so it is installing the bootloader, believe it or not. It will probably have it installed before I finish streaming because I do want to make the stream full installation and setup Fedora on this device. Welcome anyone who's joining the stream. I'm not sure if these are returning or new viewers. Do Linux from scratch next. No. So like a year ago, or maybe more now, maybe almost 2 years, Brody Robertson did a Linux from scratch series of streams, and he got like halfway through and just got so bored and fed up that he stopped. But I think it would be fun to just like, if he had made like a VM dump, to just like boot up that same VM and start over where he left off. I think that would be pretty amusing to like see like because I know he messed up the system in certain ways by accident, like he broke sudo or something. So it'd be fun to just like have to go back through his old streams and work out what happened. I think that would be an amusing exercise, but certainly not on this device. Even you can see how long the Fedora installation is taking. This is kind of annoying even me. And I've said before, I'll say it again. I thought Fedora was just bad, but it turns out this device is just bad. And Fedora is fine. I've ran Fedora. If you run it on a fast computer, it's pretty fast. But if you run it on a slow computer, it's really not. And we are generating an RAMFS. That's fine. It's totally fine. initramfs, I don't know. Is initramfs the same as init-rd or initial RAM disk? Because I think they're the same thing, but there's a distinction. Maybe they're different things, but they're called the same thing. Not sure. Okay, so what was I gonna mention? There was some tangent. I already showed my random script over here that does the oh yeah, it shows the difference between the touch screen matrix and the output. The visual, if the visuals and the touch get desynchronized, it looks all weird and it's not pleasant to use, so I try to avoid it. So the reason that I'm even doing this stream, oh, hey, we're doing stuff. Running post-installation scripts. Oh no, the comments went away. I mean, the comments didn't go away. The reason is because I'm trying to zoom out and it just keeps bringing the comments up. What is the deal with YouTube? I don't know, but it's been an hour since I started streaming, and isn't that pretty? Okay, there we go. There it goes. Running post-installation scripts, it says it's halfway through, and somehow I doubt that. It's probably more than half through. I refuse to believe it's not. Oh, what was I gonna... Yeah, focus. That's right, camera. Focus thyself. This is not good content if we don't focus. Focus, I saith. The progress bar is moving, kinda, sometimes, a little bit. There it goes. Oh, the second half went all at once. Fedora is now successfully installed on your system. Go ahead and reboot. I think not. I think not. I'm gonna press the finish button, and then we're not gonna reboot. I said I'm gonna press it with my finger. Force quit. Force quit's not responding. Ironic. Okay, so let's up this terminal size a little bit. All right. So now I want to make sure that the thing is actually working. So, but that's boring. So instead, we're just going to reboot. Not rebooey, reboot. And that will be fun. The system's going down for reboot. This is System D, unfortunately. I mean, System D is honestly fine. Especially here, it's not the bottleneck. I've tested all the other init systems. It's fine. Don't at me unless you want to. All right, now here we go. I'm gonna pull the drive out. We were using a SD card, a micro SD card with an SD adapter or the USB adapter, because my only other USB already has Ventoy and I didn't want to bother. Show me chat. Nothing in chat. Cool. Yeah, the thing with Linux from scratch. All right, you can see we're booting Fedora now. This is exciting. Believe me, it's exciting. I swear it's exciting. So the reason that I wanted to make this stream is that I actually administer the subreddit for Linux on this device, because you know what, no one else had made one yet. And every like 5 or 6 months, someone posts something on there being like, hey, help me, this doesn't work. And I like try to help them for a bit, and it becomes clear that they have no idea whatsoever what they're doing, and I'm not good enough at explaining to make them understand. And so I just give up. And I didn't want to give up anymore, so I decided that I would make this video instead. And now the background is okay. There we go. Welcome to Fedora Linux 37. I'm going to make a start setup. What was the last thing? I missed it. Oh, there was no last thing. Privacy. Next, I don't care. They have to install Gentoo. Troubleshooting on Reddit is not like that. It's very difficult and bad and stuff. So I'm just gonna put some dummy credentials here. Test user test is the username there. Cool. And we're going to put 1234 as the password. This is a weak password. I know it's a weak password. I don't care. Reddit is the new Yahoo Answers. Yeah, Yahoo Answers was before my time, and I've heard it's bad. Reddit is kind of nice because there is the possibility of intelligent communication. It's not always there. There are help vampires. There are stupid questions, but there are also good discussions sometimes. I don't want to check out the tour. Goodbye. Okay, so now that we have Fedora pretty much installed, we should take a look at, I want to open the terminal, and I also want to open the system monitor just to view the comparative usages of all of the things. So what's the deal with the system? The first deal is light mode. Hideous. Give me settings. Give me dark mode in the settings. Problem. We don't have tweaks installed yet. Look at this, how the CPU went up just to open settings. Look how high the RAM is, 80%. So we're just going to go down to appearance. And I clicked on appearance. It's just gotta give you a second. Give me dark mode or give me death. Amen, brother. Settings, we're gonna wait. We're gonna go dark. 80% it feels like Windows. Yeah, I don't know how Windows even worked on this thing in hindsight. Let's go for a nice nice background there too, kind of an abstract thing. I usually like a certain background, but I'm not going to bother with it today. Maybe. Yeah, okay, there we go. And let's see what else there is to change. Power, is there anything in here? I'm not sure. Power mode, balanced is probably fine. If we remove very much, sorry, I just got a text. There is apparently such thing as breakfast flavored cup ramen. I didn't need to know that, but now I do. Thanks, Dad. All right, we're just going to put show battery percentage there. It's useful to know. Also, what is my phone battery at? I started at 71, now we're at 41, just streaming. That's pretty bad, and now this is at 85. The stream is spazzing out. It's so spazzy. Okay, just hurry up and... Okay, that works. But if I do anything, it starts spazzing? I don't know. What else? Color. Laptop screen not calibrated. Okay, don't care. Accessibility. We're going to try and see what we can fix. Okay, nothing. About. I clicked about. This should be the easiest part. Okay. Yeah, memory 2 gigs. Processor, it's an Intel Atom with 4 cores. Supposedly, it's actually 2. Intel always doubles them up. Capacity, it says 31.3 gigs, but that's a lie. It's only ever 28 that you can get out of it. Scrolling works. I can scroll up and down in here. That's enough for me. GNOME version is 43. I wonder, what is using the most battery? Or the most percent CPU? It's the GNOME system monitor. Second to GNOME software. Let's just end the GNOME software process. Why is it even on? Behold, the CPU usage has not gone down and has even arguably increased. RAM is now hovering around 60, which is a little better, I guess. Let's see if there's anything useful installed here. There are so many extra things that are just installed on the system by default. GNOME stuff. That's annoying. So we're going to just remove a whole bunch of them. There's not a great way to do this without knowing what all of the things are called. But oh, look at this. Like I don't know how well it's showing up there, but I'm scrubbing around with Debloat GNOME. Debloat GNOME. It is time to debloat GNOME. So the first thing we want to do is get rid of the ones with weird names. So we're going to go sudo dnf remove baobab, which I think is the file picker, and eog, which is I have GNOME, the video player or maybe image viewer, and GNOME maps and GNOME help. What else is there to remove? And GNOME boxes and rhythm box and GNOME cheese. And I think I might have misspelled something in there, so we're going to see if that's enough. Ah, fell off. Okay. Free space 319 megabytes. Hey, that's like a third of a gig. That's pretty good. We'll do that as a start. It's fine. So let's just let it go. Just to watch you go. I kept everything. Okay, I better not sing on stream. Last time I did that, they actually copy struck me, which I'm not sure whether to take as a compliment or not. Fedora Media Writer, as if. Okay, next time we're going to delete GNOME Weather and GNOME Weather, GNOME Clocks, GNOME Calculator, and Get It. Is it Get It or Jet It? Hang on. I'm just looking for something related to Jet It that was a little bit amusing. A bit. And that's not the one. That's also not the one. I will. Huh. That is not quite what I was looking for. Okay. Boom, it works. Now, okay. I was going on like a tangent in my mind, and I was gonna look up copy pasta from a video that I saw. Oh, here it is. This is mildly hilarious and only slightly offensive. Okay. I gotta turn the volume up, and I don't know how. There it goes. Just give it a second here. What? Yeah. No words besides. Look how long it is taking to uninstall this text editor. I thought that the GNOME text editor and Get It were the same thing, but apparently they're not. as you saw earlier. Oh, close this. Close this. Apparently, Gedit doesn't is not the same as the GNOME text editor anymore. I swear it used to be. Oh look, we're up at 80% RAM again. I don't know how well that's coming across in the video. There we go. Gedit. I don't believe it's Gedit. It's gotta be Gedit or Jedit or something. Okay, what else? What else can we debloat off of here? GNOME weather, GNOME clocks, GNOME contacts. That's a decent start. Remove GNOME weather, GNOME clocks, GNOME contacts. What else? A GNOME tour and cheese. I thought I removed cheese last time, but maybe I didn't. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just remove GNOME, forget the matrix. Oh, wait, what? Why is there another thing open? There shouldn't be. Is it the software center? Kill that software. I'm going to remove GNOME software too. So the process ID is 3945. Let's just kill -9 3945. No reason to get pedantic. Just kill -9. There is a Linux rap song about that. But I don't remember it well enough. Okay, time to remove the stuff. Watch it go. This isn't all that interesting, is it? Yes, yes, you get the reference. Good. Good, good. All right. Oh, look at that. Nice. Very, very nice. Problems, disks, document. Okay, all of this stuff. GNOME characters, GNOME connections, GNOME fonts. You want to hear a metal song about Linux? The GNU free software song that Stallman sings, there is a metal version of that, I believe. Brody used to use it on his streams when he did streams. What was I deleting again? GNOME help. And GNOME characters. GNOME. I did software, right? Well, I am now. There's no reason to have that installed since we have the command line. Oh yeah, connection editor. No, connections. GNOME connection. We'll see if that is a valid package name. GNOME help, no match. Okay. Everything else, though, is. Join us now and share the software. You'll be free hackers. DNF, remove. What is the help? Oh no, somebody else that I like streaming is streaming. Not super interesting though, I'm not gonna bother. What? You know what? I'm just gonna... Wait, can I remove this from the GUI? If I right click, if I open it and I go over here and I view details, the only thing I can do is quit. What is the GNOME help? Is it just called help? That seems very dumb. Oh wait, hang on. But it's also not GNOME help. SUSE, yeah. I find the SUSE covers to be a bit hit or miss. Sometimes they're really fun, sometimes they're cringe. If you don't really like the song, You know who has a really great, uh, not Linux specifically, but more like just programming stuff, parodies, is I'm trying to stall while waiting for Firefox to open, and it's taking time because it's slow, of course. Um, Let me see if I can go straight to it. It's Dylan Beatty. He's got some good conference talks. He talks about stuff. Some of his points, like his latest one, was about how emails should always be sending money all the time, which I think is not a good take. But all of the other stuff is pretty fire. He like goes over the history. He's got like an alternate history of computing lecture. See the Emacs logo? Yes, my phone has an Emacs sticker I bought from the FSF. Um, there we go. This is probably a classic. Ads. You know, I have ad blockers on all of my other things, and so I kind of forgot that YouTube has ads sometimes. Can't believe that. Skip. What's even the point of skipping at that point? Oh no. I was trying to do a shortcut, but I just... Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna not play the video of that, so you can only copyright claim me once. Fun fact, guess what language GNOME is written in? The UI. I don't think so. No, GNOME is actually written in... Well, it is, but the UI is, I think, implemented in JavaScript. I know for a fact the style is CSS. Totem. Yeah, something like that. Oh no, I have too many things open. It broke. So... Oh, KE's GS. Huh. I thought for sure it was like C++ or something, because it's... Well, it's, you know, Qt. Thought that was like their main... Why do we have fonts? GNOME fonts. Nobody needs fonts. Just FC Cache V. That's all you need. Okay. Having open. I wish there were just like a list of all of the GNOME apps that aren't essential. And you could just copy it. What is the deal with fonts? GNOME Font Viewer, that's what it's called. Alright, GNOME Font Viewer, shalt go away. Sayonara, bye-bye. What's the... Nautilus. It's called Nautilus. What the fun is a file of crap. Okay, so those are those. Command completed. Cool, don't care. Cannibal Corpse. The copyright gods will probably say no. Let's see if there's any more metal stuff down, lower down there. Is there a royalty-free metal? Dun 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 dun. Copyright-free metal music. Okay, that's a start. I'll just play this whole playlist. Run down my battery. It's fine. Ah! You know what? This is too much. This is too bad. What is the Firefox App Store add-ons? Get add-ons. Get a ad blocker. Where is my ad blocker? What's the best one? The best one is uBlock Origin, isn't it? Or did they get yeeted off the internet? I don't know. And I misspelled that, but it should still find it because fuzzy search. Hooray! uBlock Origin, this is the one. I clicked on it. The tracking on this trackpad, the actual like cursor movement is really good, but the clicking is terrible. That's the thing. Other than that, it would be a great trackpad. Add to Firefox. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Yes, really do add. And let's go. Okay. Okay. I will reload the playlist, and it should block with no ads unless YouTube doesn't let you do that. We'll see. How much CPU? Okay, we're using fair amount. As to be expected. For some reason, autoplay is disabled. Or no, it's not just, it's just not. There we go. Okay, I know this isn't Cannibal Corpse. I don't know, actually. I've never actually heard Cannibal Corpse. It's not quite my thing. Wait, who even said that? Are they still here? Justin S., longtime viewer. Okay. So we're just going to go with this. Lower the volume a little bit. Okay. Anything else left to go? Yes, you're still here. I could I figured. You've been here since the beginning. You've always been here. Uh, Sorry, that might have been a reference to something, I'm not sure. Document scanner. Why does this exist? I don't know, but what I do know is... No problem, man. Oh. Oh. What? Okay, you know the actual way, though, to make everything faster is to remove it all. So that's what we're going to do. Don't know if you've seen my Bedrock Linux video, probably not, but basically, Bedrock Linux is a meta distribution which lets you open, which lets you install the different distros on top of each other, basically. So you can, yeah, so you can do that. And I think that's pretty neat. So we're just going to paste. I'm just going to do a quick Bedrock Linux installation because Bedrock Linux lets you install things from other distros that can be faster. I don't know, it's a cope. It's all a cope. It's not reversible, but there's nothing on this install either, so I can just redo it again, worst case. Bedrock Linux is a fun distro because it kind of melts away. You don't really notice it unless you want it, in which case it's just there. Okay, so now the system is in an unstable state and I'm going to have to you know what? It'll save the history probably. So we're just going to reboot. And yeah. That moment when the computer light goes off and you just see yourself in the mirror of the screen. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Bedrock time. Wait for it. All right, Bedrock Linux. The only distro that we have installed on top of Bedrock is still Fedora, so I'm just going to press enter. And there it goes. Now, Bedrock Linux is really cool. I swear, guys, it's cool. There we go. All right. One of the cool things about Bedrock Linux. What am I saying? I already made a 58-minute video where I went through the entire installation and tutorial on a VM. It's not very good. The audio sucked, and it was so bad that no one watched it. And then so I pulled it down and tried to fix the audio in Audacity and made it a little better, but not better enough. So yeah, that's what's going on. Hey, thanks for the like, somebody. Really appreciate it. What is going on underneath there with System D? Nothing. Okay. Mouse isn't engaged yet. So we're in that waiting period between. That brings us to test user. Yay! Secret password. And boom, we are in. I said we're in. We are in. It's just slow. Okay. And we're actually in to our system. And I'm just gonna do a BRL fetch Arch here because Arch has this thing called Pacman, a package manager for Arch that installs things fast because Arch is fast and fun to use, unlike Fedora, where the difference, and normally the difference is just like Arch is pretty fast and Fedora is kind of medium average, but on this device where everything is 10 times slower, actually it's more like 3 or 4 times slower, but whatever, hyperbole. On this device, that translates to DNF being very slow and Pacman being just about usable. There are things you can do on Fedora to change that, changing some settings in the config files of yum and DNF and what RPM and stuff, but really the best way to win that game is not to play. So the longest thing in the Bedrock installation is pretty much always this step. This in Arch, I don't have to worry about changing things on SE Linux. Yeah, Bedrock actually disables SE Linux by default, which is kind of how it works, because it's got to move between things. It like advises C functions in like all of the system calls that use file paths. It like edits those as they're running to make things only use their own file paths and not the file paths of other distros. It's really wonderful. I just really like Bedrock Linux. You know, it's nice. Okay, I've been streaming for 1 hour, 39 minutes, and 24 seconds, and we're only a little bit off into the weeds. I'm happy. We're still trying to make it faster over here. Yeah. Next step. Let me see. So we could try to install Gentoo, kind of piggybacking off of the Bedrock Linux install here. That is an option. I'm not sure if that's an option that I want to take, though, because time. Make your own kernel in 30 minutes. Next Linux tube meta be like, yeah, well, even compiling it in 30 minutes wouldn't be the problem. Okay, I'll level with you guys. I don't know C. I don't intend to ever learn C. Mostly just out of habit and obstinacy at this point. It's like it seems to me that all of the necessary C code has already been written, and now we're just kind of building on top of it. There's other languages like Rust and Go that are like trying to replace C and doing a pretty good job as like hobby projects with impressive projects written. There's a lot of impressive stuff that is written in C and Rust. Sorry, that is written in Rust and Go, but it's all stuff that would have been written in C did those languages not exist, and it just seems kind of like I don't know, like what's the point? So my phone, which I'm using to stream, is down to 25% power, which is not very much, and so I need to plug it in, and I'm trying to plug it in. Okay, I do have outlets open. I didn't for a while, but now I do. Actually, I turned everything off and I unplugged it all, and I got a big old outlet transformer thingy. Okay, phone should be plugged in, right? Yes, say you're charging. Okay, charging, be charging. It's charging, hopefully, please. So, there goes our time limit. I'm gonna get some water. I'll be right back. And I'm back. So, for some reason, this seems to have. Oh no, the whole computer froze up. I thought it was just the terminal, but it's everything. Was it just the mouse? If I go Control Alt, oh hang on, there it goes. We're back. It was just trying to go into sleep mode there on me. Nice try. I won't let you get away that easily. So, boom. How can I? There we go. In Smallin. Check that out. That is the killer feature. Only useful feature of this device is that it can be an iPad sometimes. A slow and bad iPad. But, I mean, really, we're just going to go to power saver mode here, too. But yeah, it can be an iPad-like if you really want it to. It's even got the app menu. And I can even swipe up with 3 fingers to reveal our apps, which there aren't very many of, because I deleted them all as a debloationary measure. Yes, that is the number of pins. There's only, I think, 9 or 10 of them. Boom. Reattached. Wait for it. Or, wait, what? Okay, for some reason it didn't, but you see how the screen is actually still tracking. I want to show an example of the screen not tracking, but I also don't want to because it's annoying and bad. and hard to get out of. So, yeah, that's that. Water is actually pretty good today. I'm on well water, and it's usually not that great, but today it is for some reason. Maybe I just can't taste anymore. That'd be nice. Couldn't taste anymore. Wouldn't want to eat anymore. I wouldn't be fat. Goals, right? So it's still decompressing the package information database. While it's there, let's actually do. I've never actually ran Emacs on this because last time that I used this device was before I got into Emacs. I was still a Vim tard. Can I say that on stream? I probably can't. Whoops. So I forget what the actual Git repo is for Emacs. I believe it's like git savannah.gnu.org or something. Maybe it's not. In the meantime, may as well get the music working again, if it'll let us. Much better. Okay. Wait, RV. So I'm just cloning the Emacs source code there. Excuse me. I swear. This is why you shouldn't enjoy water so much. It's gonna go down the wrong hole eventually, and then you gotta cough it all back out. Gosh. Wait, what am I doing? It's still decompressing. Shoot. Oh, that's finished. So we'll cd Emacs. Oh. I forgot what the packages are for that. I'll just use the Arch ones once they're available in Bedrock, which they will be in a little bit once it finishes installing. Why'd the music stop? Is there another one? Please be another one. Here it goes. Give it a second. Okay, it's loading. It'll be there. So what all happened? There's no configure file, so it runs autogen. Thanks for autoconf. Okay. Cool. You know what, this is definitely getting outside the scope of this stream, this video. I was planning to make this just a short little thing where we installed Fedora to show that it was doable and to make the steps visually obvious for people on Reddit who don't know what what a computer is. Unfortunately, um, I don't really know how to manage a stream or anything that well, so it's devolved into just doing random stuff. Um, and yeah, that's where we are. 6 viewers though, that might be a new high for my streams. I usually only get like 1 or 2. Um, for so long as well. Oh, it's downloading bootstrap packages. Nice. Still, it's gonna take a second. One thing, so you know how when you do a sudo command, like if I go sudo ls, if I go sudo ls, and then I type in the password, it doesn't actually show the characters getting entered, but then you press enter and it checks it. What's stupid is that people who are new to the command line do not know that that is a thing. And so when they ran a sudo command for the first time, they see that they need to type in their password, and so they type it in, but they don't see it. It's not echoed back to the screen, so they assume that it's that, like, I don't know, the computer froze up or something. It's not letting them type it in, but it is. It's just not showing the characters because security, which is why what Linux Mint did is they modified their version of sudo so that it actually does show that it shows asterisks there like you would expect from a GUI application to do when entering a password. Except maybe it doesn't, because I've seen at least one of those people on Reddit who was complaining about that non-error. It's a literal non-issue. One of them at least was using Linux Mint. I think they had switched to the TTY for a minute or something. Also, if you didn't know, you just Control Alt and then a function key to go to toggle between those and those. Usually 1 through 6 are, well, on Arch 1 through 6 uh, are text consoles, and 7 is the GUI when you've got a display manager. But also on other distros, usually the GUI is the first one. I really like having X or Wayland or whatever on console 7, but for some reason that's not a thing. Also, like, getting a script to run at boot on a specific virtual console is hard. I don't know why. When I was before I got over the stage of customizing every little thing about the boot up process of the distro that I was using, which was Artix at the time, I used to like edit the service files for run it, so it would actually just open the so it would like run my exinit on terminal 7 instead of running nothing or running the text login program. That was fine. So you know how a few minutes ago I plugged in my phone? Apparently it didn't actually, okay. Stream just glitched for a second, maybe? It said reconnecting. Anyway, we're still at 24% battery, so not on the device, it's still at 70, but on my phone that I'm streaming from, we're at 74, which is pretty low, all things considered. Okay, moment of truth, please. Bedrock Linux installs Arch. So you thought this was a Fedora install, but I tricked you. It was actually an Arch install this whole time. The easiest way to install Arch is just install something else and put Arch on top of it, or alongside it, really. 2 hours. I've been streaming for 2 hours now. I don't know what to do. It's like if you're talking while doing something, both the talking and the doing are lessened by the multitasking penalty, which is that multitasking is fake People just switch tasks, and some are good at it, but I'm not. But if you're talking over nothing, then nothing is happening. The only way that I can really think and talk well is when I'm walking, which obviously I'm not walking right now. I'm just spinning around in my chair a little bit. By the way, in case you didn't know somehow, gaming gear is a meme. Gaming laptops, gaming chairs, gaming desks. It's all not that great and it's way overpriced and kind of garish. So if you need a chair to like do computer stuff in or just sit in at a table for fun that you want to be sitting at for hours, get an office chair. Office chairs are just like gaming chairs, except a they're always like a reasonable color, and they're usually cheaper. Like they're not always cheaper. I'm sure there are some very cheap gaming chairs and some very expensive office chairs, but like you get better value. You tend to. Also, if you know any local businesses that are moving office or something, they probably yeah, gaming chairs are a gimmick exactly. Also gaming laptops. This took me ages to understand. Like gaming laptops are literally a meme. There is if you want to game seriously, you may as well just build a desktop because you're not going to be moving that laptop. Or a gaming laptop, see, it's not a laptop. It's it's a desktop that's a little bit easier to carry around. You can lug it around. Oh no. Sorry about that. The whatchamacallit. Anyway, Bedrock Linux continues its automated Arch install. Yeah, business laptops are the way to go. For the price of no dedicated GPU, you get better keyboard, longer lasting, maybe even like a little nipple mouse there sometimes, and just all of the good stuff. All of the stuff that you would want is there. Um, the heating is decent. Like it's not as if you want just the most power possible in a laptop, yeah, get a gaming laptop. But like nobody actually needs that much power. Straight up. Just get a business laptop. Consumer grade laptops, eh. But business, oh yeah, business laptops are where it's at. The ThinkPad, classic business laptop. I'm trying to think of examples of other famous laptops. Ooh, ThinkPad X1 Extreme Gen 3 for 400 at pawn shop. Nice. Yeah, that's a good deal. Approved. Yeah, a lot of people, especially in the Linux community, go crazy over the older ThinkPads to the degree that they say that the newer ThinkPads are bad. But I gotta say, if these newer ThinkPads are bad, then the old ones must be like literally made out of gold or something. Or what's the like? I'm trying to find like a more colorful religious analogy. Like what? How do you say it? If these new ThinkPads are considered bad, then by comparison, the old ones uh, would have to be what God wrote the universe on. Like because there's what I'm saying is that's an exaggeration. Like they can't be that good because these are good. So like yeah. All right. Fetched a new stratum arch with arch on it, which means that we can sudo pacman-s kitty for a slightly better terminal. This is the really cool thing about Bedrock Linux. We can install stuff, and once it installs, we can actually just straight up get rid of the GNOME terminal. And that'll be nice. Wait for it to finish installing. See how much faster that is? Okay, you can't see how much faster it is. It's faster, I swear. Zoom out. Boom. Okay. I'm trying to think where this like weird setup, this like mobile streaming setup would be useful actually. Because not that. Not there. Okay, so 2 hours and 6 minutes. I can't believe it. That's a lot. Okay. Let's go. It's got to rebuild the font cache. That makes sense. Just installing all of the things. It takes a couple moments. And we're done. So let's open Kitty now. And boom, little terminal. Not everything quite lines up, but we can actually just now sudo dnf. I don't even know how to install Skyrim. I literally haven't played Skyrim. Dnf install. Oh, remove GNOME terminal. Boom. Go away. Be gone, thou. Yes. And now you'll notice GNOME terminal is still open, except VTE, which is the terminal library it uses, is not working anymore. So now if we go terminal, there are no results. The only option is wait, Kitty doesn't work either. What have I done? What have I done? Control Alt. Now there's no Control Alt T anymore. Okay, settings. Okay, no, we'll log out and log in again. Yeah, log out. Really. And give it a second. Yes, it. Okay, log in again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it says you need play on Linux or wine, and then what do you call it? Steam Play maybe? I'm not installing Steam. That's a ton of dependencies. Take forever. Boom, Kitty now appears in the start menu, and it's starting. I swear it's starting. What? See, I don't have a terminal anymore. Oh wait, I do have a terminal. Almost forgot. Oh wait, that's wrong person. That's not command line. Username is test and password is 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. So now what happens if we... Okay. Looks like it is broken because... Wait. Git pwd. How does that work? I don't know. Okay, something is clearly broken. It's all broken. I don't know what's going on. 2 people already left the stream, so I don't care anymore. Hold the power button down until it gives up. There's a ghost. And bye.